Nothing will ever change my mind about Chapter 1 Season 6. I love this season more than my kids. This season had complete control of my mind when it was first being teased. Being in chemistry class while these pictures were being dropped? Yeah, of course I'd rather play Fortnite than be in school. Fuck you, Mrs. Milford. I know when people think of modern Chapter 1, they think of Season 5, Season 7, or this piece of shit. But I think people kind of overlook this season, and it's not perfect by any means. There are problems with it, but I don't think people give it enough credit for what it is. So I'm gonna glaze the shit out of this season. Use my creator code so I can buy a mansion. Thank you. One of the reasons why this season gets a little overshadowed by the seasons I mentioned at the start is because they all incorporate big map changes in the form of entire biomes. And this season doesn't, or at least not really. But what it does is that it takes a really shitty POI, yeah, that's pure factual, don't even come at me, and makes it a little better. But more importantly, the Mickey Mouse twister that's inhabiting the lake's house creates one of the coolest means of rotation, at least at the time. And this was fucking awesome. Everyone in the world landing here with people flying around from the twister was the funniest and craziest shit ever. However, there wasn't a lot of loot up here. Sure, is a step up from original Loot Lake, but this place was mainly an aesthetic thing or a means of rotation, but it still gave the season some identity. And the fact that it moved around the map every week or two was such a revolutionary thing. When Fortnitemares took place, heavy ass fog covered the map as well as multiple spires that spawned zombies, which I will go over. Haunted Hills was given a castle and no one landed there. Map changes kind of ended there, and I honestly don't see that as a negative. I feel like if Epic couldn't figure out a large permanent map change like a biome, they should give us the next best thing with multiple small map changes, and that's exactly what they did. And by small map changes, I mean burnt ass charcoal grass all over the place. I've seen points from people saying that Season 6's map is so forgettable that if it was skipped, you wouldn't be able to tell. And to that I can agree to some extent, but at the same time, you can say the same thing about Chapter 2 Season 2. If you compare Season 1 and 2's maps, they look pretty much exactly the same, and mind you, Season 2 had actual new named POIs, but you can kind of see what I'm getting at.
It's the same shit!
We got a lot of shit this season in terms of weapons and utility, but the two fan favorite mainstays that I want to talk about, the heavy AR and the purple and gold pump shotgun. Like, this is the shit, dude. I've mentioned before how Fortnite over time has the obligatory rapid firing ARs, then the slow firing ARs that require more accuracy, and I think it's safe to say that it started here. For a while, the purple and gold shotgun of the time was the heavy shotgun, but now that we had officially a gold variant of the pump shotgun was just immaculate. This was immediately a fan favorite gun, and it still is.
Got one really weak in there, Pop. Got both. Oh.
Start the win, baby!
Side note, I just wanted to let you guys know that this season was the last time we saw the guided missile launchers, so yeah, I bet you feel bad for shitting on this season. Look, I don't want this review to be, this season was the first time we got this, it was the first season we got that, and this, and that, so it has to be good, right? Now we got some dog shit things along the way, I'll admit it, like these. I don't want to heavily shit on a lot of these additions because there are people who put these to use, like the whole contraption thing people did with the ice trap. That's their prerogative, but that shit didn't really impact the season that much. During Fortnitemares, we got two new weapons, the 6-shooter pistol and the Fiend Hunter crossbow. And man, they were so good and so effective. You're definitely not at a disadvantage when using them. These weapons were so great. In fact, I love them so much that I have a poster of them on my wall. I know the crossbow was made specifically to take out the zombies, I know. But holy shit, the 6-shooter was absolute ass cheeks. One of the most based and valid aspects of this entire season was the implementation of the Shadowstone cubes, which allowed you to become a scary ass ghost figure from those clickbait thumbnails. There are so many videos of people doing meme strats with this, like hiding in plain sight and creeping up on people like Slenderman and Sonic EXE. And I don't fucking care, I'm saying it, these were better than Hop Rocks. You go way faster, way higher. Also, pairing it with the geysers on the ground, your ass went flying. With that being said, there were some problems with the gameplay tempo during some parts of the season. For starters, there was a period of time where explosive damage would bleed through builds and damage players? Well maybe the sweat shouldn't be spam building. There was also a small amount of time where glider redeploy was enabled permanently for everyone. Now, I made a video on the worst updates / changes in Fortnite history, and this was on that list. Now, this change has a weird dichotomy since everyone had it at all times. There was no imbalance in terms of scarcity, and the change itself was fun, and a lot of people actually liked it for what it was. But it unironically somewhat ruined any stakes in build battles since people could literally jump off like that Kratos clip and be totally fine afterwards. It wasn't a healthy addition at all despite how fun it was. We got an assload of LTMs this season, or at least a big rotation of them, with Blitz, Soaring 50s, Team Rumble,
that's nasty,
Disco Domination, and Food Fight. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up is to show how much of a presence LTMs had in Fortnite at the time. Granted, I didn't play these that much, like Disco Domination, you just dance around like Kids Bop or some shit, and Food Fight was a literal race war. And these don't affect the main BR, but it was worth mentioning. The closing half of this season, we had the Butterfly Live event, and to be honest, I don't know what any of this shit means to this day still, and I know some of the lore heads out there have an explanation, but this was the first event that had your character in cinematic form, which is a common thing now, but for chapter 1 it was pretty surreal. And I'm biased as shit because your character meets the Fly Away Today butterfly. It's no rocket event or black hole event. It's serviceable. The other standout gameplay feature this season was of course the zombies. Now don't get me wrong, the concept of having a third-party enemy is dope as shit. However, the flaws of this feature tend to show more during endgames. If the circle was tiny with 3 or 4 people left, the zombies were kind of disruptive, which would lead to players just straight up dying, which isn't great because if I lose in Fortnite, I wouldn't want to lose to AI zombies, I would want to lose from an actual player. Trust me, there was a lot of funny ass clips of people getting third-party by zombies and getting their shit kicked in, but it wasn't exactly a great feature. Now I will say the looting aspect was definitely a positive, but in the grand scheme of things, this shit was stinky as fuck. Chapter 1 Season 6 is my personal favorite season of all time. I don't think it's the best season of all time. It's certainly not a top 10. In fact, I give this a 6.8 out of 10. But you gotta give credit where credit's due. It had a theme. It stuck to that theme, they experimented, they kept what worked and left behind whatever didn't. It was unique, it pioneered a lot of things that are staples to Fortnite today. All in all, I want to know what you think of this season. I feel like it's a weird position. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Before I end things off, I just want to say thank you for watching as always, thank you for using my creator code as always, and most of all, thank you for 20,000 subscribers. Very surreal. Don't know how I have this amount of subs, but I'm going to keep rolling with it. Other than that, have a wholesome day and fly away today.